What's good, guys? It's your boy JayThat'sMe. Let's dive into NXT for May the 16th, 2023. This was an okay show for the most part. A very solid show. Had a couple downers, but for the most part, overall, it was good. So we kicked the show off with the second round of the NXT Women's title tournament. Fallon Henley versus Cora Jade. Cora Jade wins. Before the match, both cut promos. So Cora Jade, she was talking about how she's the best of the best. And she sent a warning to Fallon Henley. Fallon Henley calls herself the top shelf of NXT. So like I said, Cora Jade, she wins via the DDT. Makes sense. So it's going to be her versus Lyra Valkyria. And that should be interesting. Moving on. Kiana James, she's backstage with Thea Hale. They have some choice words with each other. And other female superstars are along for the ride. They look on. So Thea Hale wants to show Kiana James she belonged in the tournament. Kiana James says it sounds like a night off and asks if she needed a permission slip. Thea Hale then asks Duke Hudson if she can have the match, and he doesn't care. Next, Wes Lee and Tyler Bate, they're meditating. So they get beat down in this meditation. And Joe Gacy says that this friendship is a charade based on lies, and it will eventually burn out. And then Joe Gacy slams Wes Lee's head into a locker. And I enjoyed that. Going back up to Kiana James and Thea Hale. Why does this need to be on the show? Again, it doesn't make any sense. But this is Shawn Michaels for you. I don't know why in the hell we keep doing a confrontation and then all of a sudden we have to do a match. It doesn't need to happen like that. I don't know. It's not something that I would do if I was booking this. Moving on. So, Trick and Mello, they breezed past Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. So, Trick and Mello both get in the ring. Carmelo says his boy defended his honor last week. And Bron sent a message. So, message received. Carmelo knows this is a different Bron, but he's also different. Carmelo says at Battleground, we will be in his backyard, and they will not bark, they'll bite. So Trick and Mello both call out Braun Breaker, but Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey, they interrupt. Gulak says their childish sit-in has gone on for far too long. Drew Gulak says they can't disrespect them no matter how angry they are at Braun. Charlie Dempsey says they stormed right past him and Drew Gulak when they entered the building as they were finding out about their tag match for later on in the night. The two teams, they have some words and they jaw jack. Trick then suggests a match for later on in the night. Gulak and Dempsey, they hesitate, but then they attack him, and then it leads to a brawl, and Trick and Mello stand tall. So that's fine. What's not fine is Dijak. I can't stand Dijak. He fucking sucks. I cannot stand Dijak. He sucks. We need to cast him and Davakato into the sun. Seriously. Well, no, I'm not going to be that mean. Just get him off of television. Like, seriously, they both suck. So, Dijak is sitting at his table, journaling like Apollo Crews used to do, saying last week Ilja Dragunov found out that he was the judge during execution of NXT. Ilja walks up to interrupt, saying that Dijak is obsessed with the idea of breaking him, but he's invincible and unbreakable. Then Dijak says Ilja seems to enjoy pain, and he enjoys inflicting it. Ilja says pain is inevitable, suffering is optional. Dijak says there's not a man alive that he can't break. Ilja invites him to try, and then they have a face-off. And I'm just like, what the hell are we doing here? This is so damn stupid. And this went on for most of the night. This was a running gag for most of the night. How sad. What was not sad was the Creed brothers versus the Dyad. That match kicked major ass. To me, this was the match of the night. The Creeds did their thing. There was this one spot in the match where they hoisted up one of the members of the Dyad in the air for about 20 seconds and dropped him. That was great. I enjoyed that. That was awesome. In the end, the Creeds get the win via the sliding clothesline. So that's cool. Also, Ivy Nile, she locked in the Dragon Sleeper on Ava Raine for a really good pop. So that was cool right there. Next, Tony D and Stacks, they're having dinner. So Tony talks about the title shot from Gallus. Stacks gets up and takes a phone call. Two cops, they come. They're not in uniform. They approach Tony D. He told him he's already paid them off, but they insist he comes in for some questioning about criminal acts he may have been involved in. Tony D gets up and says this better be good. This better be legit because he's missing his meal. Stacks comes back and the waitress informs him that the police escorted Tony away. Stacks is surprised by this. He makes a phone call and walks off. So this was awesome. I loved it. Kudos to Shawn Michaels for doing this. This was brilliant. We all know that this is tied to the quote-unquote murder of Pretty Deadly, sending them to the main roster, SmackDown to be precise. And this is great. I loved it. This is absolutely great. This is exactly what Impact should have done when they killed off Eric Young instead of actually killing him off a while back. Just saying. So the Creed brothers, they're at ringside still, and they interrupt Vic and Booker T. So they make a challenge for Battleground for Gallus. And Julius tells Gallus they're calling to pick up the phone. So I enjoyed that line right there. That was cool. Makes a lot of sense. This is very interesting. With the arrest of Tony D and Stacks, it makes a lot of sense. This is awesome. Like I said, kudos to Shawn Michaels for doing this. This kicks major ass. So next, we have the Noam Dar Super Sessions show. So basically, Noam Dar beraids Dragon Lee for the most part. They go back and forth. They argue a good bit. Then Nathan Frazier thankfully steps in. He exposes Noam Dar and says that his Heritage Cup has to be defended like every other title in WWE. Then Nathan Frazier sticks up for Dragon Lee and says we'd love to see him challenge Noam Dar for the cup in this country. Then they propose a match for Battleground. Frazier says if Dar loses the cup at Battleground, he can always call Alicia Fox to see if she'll take him back. So that was really cool right there. I enjoyed that. Noam Dar goes on and agrees to the match against Dragon Lee and saying, we see why he's the best at this. And for Frazier interrupting the night, he'll get his ass kicked next week but in a non-title match, because that's all he and these people deserve. And then Noam Dar does his thank you goodbye, and that was it. So I enjoyed that. It does make sense. This is what I wish that Shawn Michaels would have done, involving Wes Lee, Tyler Bate, and Joe Gacy. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But this was the right call. It makes sense. So we then go into another vignette of Dijak and Ilja Dragunov. So Dijak's been beating up on Ilja. And then Dijak asks Ilja if that's enough. Ilja says not even close. So again, more dumb crap, more dumb shit from Dijak. So Mackenzie Mitchell, she's backstage with JC Jane, asking her about a match with Roxanne Perez. Jane says she's not confident at all, and she wonders why the match is happening. She then laughs and says she needs better questions when she becomes champion. She says Roxanne Perez's time has come and gone, and tonight, when she beats Roxanne Perez, she'll go to the finals, where she wanted to face Gigi Dolan in the first place. So then JC Jane goes on insulting Gigi Dolan and calls her a loser while she's a winner. And then JC Jane says she'll picture Gigi's face while she kicks Roxanne Perez's face in tonight. And then goes on to become the new champion. I forgot to mention the match between, earlier on in the night, a promo between Trick and Mello and Charlie Dempsey and Drew Gulak. I forgot to mention that. So basically the promo was just Trick and Mello wanted to face Breaker. They were interrupted by Gulak, and basically, they had a brawl, stand tall. That's how the match took place. I forgot to mention that. I apologize. On to that match. So the match was solid. Trick and Mello, they get the win via the nothing but net. Again, Carmelo needs to be careful. He don't want to keep messing up his tailbone later on in life. If I was him, I would transition into a different finish. I wouldn't always go to that. That's not something I would always go for. I don't know. I'm not Mellow, but that's something that you want to keep doing. So, post-match, Trick and Mello, they get on the mic to address Bron Breakker. He appears on the big screen. So, Bron taunts Trick and Mello. He asks Mello how his ribs feel. Mello says Carmelo will have to wait because he made a pit stop on the way to the arena. So then he's in Trick and Mello's barbershop. Everyone's afraid. Bron says he came to get a fresh cut before he shows up and finishes what he started last week. So Thea Hale, she's backstage with Duke Hudson. She tries to get him fired up for her match, but he forgets he gave her the okay. Duke gets on the same page as Thea Hale now, and then they head out. Who really cares? Noam Dar, he's backstage with Last Legend and Jakara Jackson, who looks sexy as hell. He asked how he was out there. Dar implies he goes back with Legend. He goes way back with Legend, but she says not so fast. They talk about all the WWE talk shows thus far on NXT. They mentioned the Grayson Waller Effect and the new talk show by Nathan Frazier. And Lash is the one and only show that people should be discussing is the OG Lashing Out with Last Legend. And then both Lash and Jakara walk off. So I do like this. This is cool. It's been months since we've seen Last Legend. She spent time on Level Up for a good bit. That's where she mostly does all her stuff, is on Level Up, but nobody watches it. It's just like, it's like NXT's version of Superstars and Velocity. So, you know. But both Jakara Jackson and Last Legend, they looked good here. Thea Hill versus Kiana James. Kiana James wins via the 401k. And Duke Hudson, he's still distracted. Again, I'm ready for him to turn heel. Well, I mean, he's already a heel, but, you know, I'm ready for them to do something with this, because Andre Chase has been gone for a couple weeks now. We know he's not going to the main roster, but, you know, what's up? Like, where is this all leading to? I don't know. We shall find out. Hank and Tank. So they're back checking out Tank's new tube. He's putting his damn thumb in his mouth, and this sick son of a bitch has the audacity to shake the hands of Briggs and Jensen as well as Hank Walker. Dude is sick. That's absolutely disgusting. So Briggs and Jensen, they walk up saying how impressed they were with last week's match and how they weren't afraid to throw hands. Briggs comments on the tooth punch, and he hadn't hit anyone that hard since Jensen. And beating on each other was good for their relationship. Briggs and Jensen, they tell Hank and Tank to join them for drinks later on in the night. And then they dip out. Tank tells Hank that they should do that. They want to be a great tag team, and they do. They need to be close like Briggs and Jensen, like mashed potatoes and gravy, like peanut butter and jelly. And I'm just like, did a 5-year-old write this damn promo right here? Like, are we serious? So Tank says they need to get in the ring together and fight it out next week. And then they both agree, and then they shake on it. And I'm just like, this is so stupid. This is such a waste of time. Shawn Michaels, man, why? Why even allow this on our televisions next week? Why, man? Come on, dog. You're better than this. Get with it, Shawn. So Mackenzie Mitchell, she's backstage checking out Wes Lee and Tyler Bate from their beatdown earlier on in the night with Schism. So Bate has been kicked out by a medic. Mackenzie asks why the Schism attacked Lee. Wes Lee says he wants to make sure that Bate is okay, then warns Schism as he heads out. So we get a vignette from Boring Gas Davocado. He says that he came to NXT with one mission, and he emphatically ended Apollo Crews. He watched the NXT locker room hoping he would be drafted to Raw or SmackDown, but all their deepest, darkest fears still exist because he's not going anywhere. He has so much more to accomplish, more to destroy, more havoc to create, and championship gold to capture. And I wanted to gouge my eyes out with this promo. This was awful. Davocado sucks. Davocado says he's on the hunt, and every NXT superstar is his prey. Then we cut to backstage with Dante Chen, Axiom, Eddie Thorpe, a.k.a. Carl Fredericks, and Idris, Enofe, and Malik Blade. So, Enofe says that Davocado looks pissed. He says that at least he and Blade are tag team wrestlers, which they are, but they haven't been on television in months. Can't remember the last time we've even seen or heard from Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. It's been months. I'm going to say at least 4 or 5 months at least. I thought that they have maybe been quietly, not released, but quietly sent to NXT Level Up, if we're just being honest. Same thing with Dante Chen. So everyone agrees that Davocado is dangerous. Yeah, he dangerously sucks. Eddie Thorpe just shakes his head, and then both he and Chen, they walk out. Axiom says that Davocado is the biggest mountain in NXT, but looks forward to climbing big mountains. And I'm just like, oh my God. Shawn Michaels, please don't do this. Don't do Axiom versus Davocado, please, for the love of the creator, don't do it, man. Don't. Have some pride and dignity about yourself, Sean. Have some dignity, man. But we all know he's going to book it next week, and we all know that Axion's going to win. I'm willing to bet money on it. Oh, boy. So, Wes Lee, he's out next. He gets on the mic. He talks shit about Schism. And he said, if Joe Gacy wanted a title shot, all he had to do was ask. So Tyler Bates watching this from the trainer's room. Ava and Joe Gacy, they appear on the crowd above. The platform above the crowd. So Gacy's saying that he wants the title. Ava says that Wes Lee is close to becoming the greatest NXT North American champion in history. That, too, made me want to gouge out my eyes. But then she goes on and says, what will that make Gacy when he takes the title at Battleground? So Gacy wonders how Bate will react to his title shot. Lee tells him to stop trying to divide them. It won't work. Ava says it's already happening. Tyler's deceiving you. Bate then gets up from the trainer's room. He heads to the ring. Bate comes out and says that he's had it with the high school name-calling rubbish. Tyler Bate says Joe Gacy may be still bitter over the loss at Stand and Deliver. Either way, you have a receipt coming for you, and if it's at Battleground, then so be it. Wes Lee says Joe Gacy looks to be busy with 2 in one night at Battleground. Bate tells Lee they're friends, but he'd be lying if he said he didn't want a title shot. Joe Gacy then says the truth will finally set you free, and Wes Lee yells him to shut up. Wes Lee asks Tyler Bate why didn't he say something, and Bate understands. Tyler Bate says we can still do this in the spirit of competition, and he would not let the friendship get in the way. Ava calls Bate a liar, and Gacy warns Wes Lee that Tyler Bate will stab him in the back, and then Wes Lee just wants a triple threat match at Battleground. And I'm like, Sean, why do we need a triple threat? Why must you insist on giving us these stupid-ass multi-man matches because you don't want to do a one-on-one match with Wes Lee? Why not do Wes Lee versus Joe Gacy next week? Have Joe Gacy lose clean to Wes Lee, and then you have Tyler Bate versus Wes Lee at Battleground, and then you have Tyler Bate cheat to defeat Wes Lee at Battleground, becoming the new NXT North American champion, and then you have a feud between Wes Lee and Tyler Bate. It's common sense 101. Simple, easy booking. Come on, Sean. You got to do better, my friend. You got to do better. Moving on, so we get a vignette from Roxanne Perez for tonight's main event. She looks back on her last year and wonders where the time went. It went so fast, she wonders what next year will be like and says the unknown is so exciting and nerve-wracking. Roxanne Perez says she knows where she wants to go. It's just a matter of time before it's just about how she gets there. So this was an okay little promo by her. I wish that she was better on the mic and that she had an actual character. It was cool that she had a vision board. I do like that. I do. And she was doing, I think, like positive affirmations and meditation. So that's pretty cool. So it makes a lot of sense. But I wish that Roxanne Perez had a better character. I really do. This happy-go-lucky shit, it's just not doing it for me, if we're being honest. Von Wagner, he's getting talked to by some chick, some brunette from last week. She said that she watched him on Raw and said that he did a great job. Vaughn appreciates it. She apologizes for last week after what Lucia Crestinoli is a horrible person. So Vaughn looks over he sees the guy bullying Mr. Stone, threatening him again. So Bron grabs Lucia and says if he keeps playing games, they can get in the ring and steal it at any time. Then Von tosses him away. Stone thanks Von for sticking up for him. Von Wagner says he did it because he was the only person who accepted him, and he knows that he believes in him. So Mr. Stone says that he knows there's a superstar inside of Von. I'm like, are you on crack, Rob Stone? Like, seriously, are you? So Stone asked if Von is ready to talk about the picture that they keep going back to with him being, a young Von with stitches in his head. Von says, nice try, and walks off. Again, why can't we do this on Raw? This does not need to be for NXT. You can't confuse the audience like this. I mean, he just randomly shows up on Raw, gets used in a pointless battle royal, and it just doesn't make any sense. Like, if you're going to do something like this, go all the way with it. Have stuff for Raw and have stuff for NXT, That's what I would do. I don't know. And then the main event, wrestling-wise, Jade versus Tyler Henley. It's actually Roxanne Perez versus Jacy Jayne. So Roxanne Perez gets the win via the Pop Rocks. Post-match, her and Tiffany Stratton, they have a little stare down. And then out of nowhere, Gigi Dolan attacks Jacy Jayne from behind, and then they brawl. And then referees and officials separate them. So the finals are set, or almost set. Semifinals are set, just about. Cora Jade versus Lyra Valkyria, and Roxanne Perez versus Tiffany Stratton. I'm at a toss-up here. They could either do Cora Jade or Roxanne Perez, or they could do Tiffany Stratton, Lyra Valkyria. I think they dug themselves in a hole here. I don't know. It seems like they want to give Cora Jade the strap. It seems, although I wouldn't be opposed if they give it to Tiffany Stratton. So I'm going to go with Tiffany Stratton wins. She's going to beat Roxanne Perez, and Lyra Valkyria is going to beat Cora Jade, and then you have those two go at it for the vacated title at Battleground, and then have Tiffany Stratton go over decisively on Lyra Valkyria. Makes sense, because you can always run back Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. Like I say, I don't know, but with Tiffany Stratton and with Tiffany Stratton and Roxanne Perez being next week, I don't know, man. Like, I was wanting that to be the finals, if we're being honest. But we'll see what happens. Closing segment of the show. Actually, no, before that, Dijak. We still get a vignette with him and Ilja Dragunov. So Dijak has been punishing Ilja with a baton. His hands are tied. Dijak says he told Ilja that he'd break any man. Ilja laughs and says he's still standing. Dijak looks back at Ilja and laughs. And I'm just like, what the hell is this shit? This is so stupid. Just do a last man standing at Battleground. Problem solved. Ugh. Dijak fucking sucks. Moving on. So, Trick and Mello, they come out again. And they call out Bron. Bron comes out. He's surrounded by security. Trick and Mello taunt him. But Bron says they need protection from him. And if it wasn't for security, there would be no Mello Homecoming or main event at Battleground. Trick says Bron is the only one who needs protecting. Bron taunts Trick over their match last week. Carmelo speaks up and points to Bron needing a wall between them. Carmelo says, don't blame me or these people. Blame yourself because you thought you were untouchable until you got touched. And at Battleground, you're not taking this title. So Carmelo then points to the NXT Championship laying on the ground. Bron says they fight for two different reasons. Hayes wants to go to Battleground and retain, and that's fine. But Bron isn't interested by that title any longer. It's only about destroying Carmelo in front of his home city, fans, and family. They all leave crying about how their hero couldn't get the job done. Then Carmelo says Bron speaks with so much conviction and life, but which is what also got him a year-long title reign. He says the reason they're in the main event is because no one else is cut like them, which is true. Carmelo says, you're thinking that you'll ruin my homecoming, and that's cool, but the reality is that beating that you get is going to help me create this dynasty I'm about to build over your body. And I'm like, damn, that was a sick-ass promo right there. I love that line. Carmelo then says that's all it is, and the fans finish it, that's all it's going to be. So, Bron then proceeds to berate most of Boston sports dynasties for falling apart. He names the Patriots, the Celtics, the Red Sox, and the Bruins, and any other trash team Boston has. Bron says he'll put an end to Hayes' dynasty before it begins, and after Battleground you'll realize you're not him, you're nothing, and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. So Trick invites Bron into the ring. Hayes and Trick, they end up taking out security. They brawl with security. And then Carmelo, Hayes, and Bron, they brawl for a small bit. Then Bron rocks Carmelo with a big right hand. Security enters the ring. Melo takes out a guy with a clothesline. And then he eats a lariat by Bron. Bron presses Hayes for a power slam. Hayes dips out. And then Bron is met with a low blow by Carmelo. And then Hayes picks up the NXT title and he hits Bron Breaker in the head. And then they both fall down. And then NXT goes off the air. So I do like that. That was great. Very good stuff there. I'm excited for Bron and Melo too. Overall, the show itself was, for the most part, decent. There were some things that we could have done without, like Keanu James and Thea Hale, as well as Hank and Tank, that nonsense, and also the Ilja and Dragunov stuff. But overall, the show was solid for the most part. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Please hit the like button, comment down below, and subscribe for more videos. What do you guys think of the show? Let me know. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.